All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for this dugout. It's just a matter of a couple of days. In fact, on Sunday, what we hope will be a super Sunday, because India and Pakistan, well, they'll be facing each other once again. The last time the two teams met, India, of course, didn't have a favourable result.
Not a good match at all.
Exactly, we remember that 10-wicket loss, and every story has a protagonist. When it is India versus Pakistan,
You can't be looking beyond these two men.
you have two protagonists here. Of course, Virat Kohli is not going through a great run of form with the bat, but still, when it comes to big matches, you will pick him somewhere. Virat Kohli and Babar Azam. Babar Azam, of course, the number one T20 international
and ODI batsman in the world.
And ODI batsman.
His white ball form has been fantastic.
Although there are a few issues that people often raise, at least about Babar Azam. We've spoken about this for Virat Kohli. In fact, lately that his strike rate is not up to the mark. He's been batting a little slow. In T20s, but for Babar also, a lot of people have pointed this out. So now, what are we doing today? Is this entire Asia Cup going to be, or maybe will revolve around these two players?
I wouldn't say entirety of it, but I think a lot of it is going to depend on how these, because in fact, if we're going to look at, and we're obviously doing some statistical analysis here, you'll see that generally speaking, both of these teams, India and Pakistan, tend to do much better when their star batsmen are doing well. Again, not exactly a shocking thing, but even if you look at how, if you look at the T20I World Cup, if we are looking at the kind of numbers they had, I don't know why we can't seem to switch. Virat's numbers T20 World Cup, again, nothing to write home about, especially considering of these 68 runs. 57 came in one match.
And that was against Pakistan.
Yeah. That was the first match, and then after that he only ended up adding 11 runs to his tally.
And Babar Azam. I just saw these numbers actually. So, in fact, Babar Azam got how many in that match? Do you remember?
I don't remember how many. I think he scored, but then he and Rizwan batted through.
We often talk about they may have a psychological edge, Pakistan, because they won that game last time.
And quite convincingly.
Convincingly. In fact, I remember, Shane, in the 2019 World Cup also, in the last World Cup also, the last T20 World Cup, we have often spoken about this one factor that may actually hurt India, which eventually did, at least in 2019 World Cup, the top order.
Yes.
Our top order was so solid because for almost a year and a half leading into that 2019 World Cup, they were getting all the runs. And your middle order, they hardly got opportunities. Of course, that's not the only reason why we failed in that 2019 World Cup. They didn't get too many opportunities also to bat. I think Pakistan, this Pakistan team may suffer could suffer a similar fate. Why? Because their strength also lies in that top order.
Exactly.
Babar Azam,
Babar and Fakhar Zaman. That is the crux of their batting.
Exactly.
In fact, that's one reason why I think both of them tend to sometimes bat, the top two especially, tend to bat a little slower, because they know if they lose their wicket, it's Fakhar Zaman and that's it. There's no much batting beyond that in T20s, because I was actually, obviously for this, I was doing a lot of research, and Babar, there are times when the calendar year in T20Is, he was striking it at 150. So it's not like he doesn't have the ability to do it. A lot of it, I think, depends on circumstances, and right now Pakistan's middle order, as you say, exact same problem. Top three, very sorted.
Okay. Is Pakistan more dependent on Babar Azam or India more dependent on Virat Kohli?
Oh, okay. Considering Babar actually only shot to the limelight in 2016-17, and Kohli has been a match winner since well before. I would say India a little bit more maybe, but again I think India the advantage now.
But looking at the recent past,
current circumstances, I'd say India are probably less dependent on Kohli than Pakistan are on Babar, and to another extent Rizwan. Because again, Rizwan was scoring a lot of runs in that tournament, and more often than not would look to bat through. So he's another one very key. I think 2021 he was also the T20I Player of the Year, ICC. So there's there, but again, these two or these three, as you said, there's nothing much beyond that. Pakistan have that issue.
Yeah, I know. I remember Asif Ali. In fact, the last T20 World Cup, he played some very important knocks down the order when he came out to bat. In fact, I remember that game against Afghanistan, where it seemed that Pakistan were in a bit of trouble. And what he did, he just came bang, 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 4 sixes on the trot, and Pakistan were through. So, but this is Virat Kohli in the T20 World Cup, the last T20 World Cup, 5 games, just 68 runs.
A strike rate of 100.
I think also Shane, I think the number of innings that he played in that
was not 5, it was about 3.
Yeah, because towards the end of the tournament, against Minnows, he didn't get too many opportunities.
He didn't get a chance to bat. Yeah, because Namibia was the last match. KL had scored 100 then.
Yeah.
So there was also that particular, thing that he didn't really get to bat much. But again, and considering though 57 in one match and then 11 runs, even if you take 2 innings, doesn't really show a lot of great form that he was having.
Because New Zealand were next. And what do we have? Babar Azam, this was his World Cup.
This was his World Cup, and he was the top scorer.
He was the leading run scorer, yeah. So 303 runs in a World Cup. If I remember correctly, the best T20 World Cup that Virat had was in 2016.
Correct, yes.
And he got somewhere close to, I think, 350 or 330 runs.
In 2016, Kohli was, of course, different. Yes. Remember, that was the year IPL also, he smacked 974 runs.
Absolutely. So, in fact, he took India single-handedly to the semi-finals.
Yes.
Before West Indies happened. West Indies
it was, yeah.
Before West Indies happened. So, this is Babar Azam in that same T20 World Cup the last time, just 10 months ago. Same venue, in fact, Dubai. Was the venue when India lost to Pakistan.
Correct.
And once again that rivalry, now that it resumes, the start or the resumption will happen in Dubai.
Correct.
By the way, a lot of people must be wondering where's Nikhil. So Nikhil will join you guys from Dubai tomorrow onwards.
Yes.
So he'll be there reporting for you and getting you all the updates and a lot of information behind the scenes, what is happening, who said what, and we'll be monitoring what's happening in those practice sessions.
Yes.
So that's going to be quite vital information that you will get. So stay tuned, because sports today would be actively getting all these updates from Dubai.
Absolutely.
Then what else do we have?
So again, now see, these are World Cups, and again, this is last year. But if we're going further back in time as well, both of these individuals have also played in Asia Cup in recent times, although both of them played in different years, different formats, because Kohli's last Asia Cup was all the way back in that peak year of 2016, which of course we remember was a year where it was also played in the T20 format, because that was also a World Cup year. So again, not this year was still somewhat better, although I don't think Kohli had a great tournament, all things considered, because that strike rate, again, 110 doesn't really scream great, but again, runs wise, he was still somewhat up there.
And you also have to see, of course, Shaheen Shah Afridi not playing in the IPL or in the Asia Cup is a big miss for Pakistan.
Absolutely.
But so is Jasprit Bumrah. And they've got some very good quicks in their team, the likes of Hasnan, who's been drafted as a replacement for Shaheen Shah. Haris Rauf is there. So they've got a decent pace attack, and not to forget Shadab. Shadab, the leg spinning all-rounder. So they've got a pretty decent lineup. The only thing that I believe that Pakistan would be worried would be their middle order.
Yeah.
because they rely heavily on their top three. And I think that was one of the reasons why they did fairly well in the last T20 World Cup, because Rizwan and
Babar really batted.
Exactly, Babar got some good runs.
But also, if you're looking at this weakness, it was exposed when they lost in the semi, because they had decent scorers at the top, but no one in the middle order really scored a lot of runs. Whereas for Australia, they had, I think Warner only scored like Warner Marsh, who were their best batsmen, got out in like 20s, 30s type. Finch scored a duck, but what took them home was a 41 from Matthew Wade and a 41 from Marcus Stoinis. In fact, Wade was the man of the match in that particular match. So the big difference there, their top order failed. In fact, two of their best batsmen didn't really make many contributions. The lower order was there to pick things up. Pakistan don't have that, and in T20Is that can be a problem, because you really rely on quick runs from the lower order.
And it will be very, very, very hot there in UAE this time.
Of course, one advantage they have is that Asia Cup, the quality of opposition all through will be a little variable, let's say.
Variable, but all the teams will have very good spin attack.
Yes, and in these conditions.
Exactly. You will have some of the best spinners in the world. You will have a UZCL, you will have a Shadab Khan in Pakistan, you will have Rashid Khan from Afghanistan.
Sri Lanka will have
Wanindu Hasaranga.
And don't forget, what's his name? Theeksana.
Yes.
The mystery spinner.
Yes.
He's another one.
Actually, we've been discussing about the Asia Cup for some days now, and I believe, you never know, maybe Sri Lanka could be your dark horse for this Asia Cup. Although not a lot of people would give them a chance or would consider them as favourites, but you never know.
You never know. It's these kind of tournaments.
Yeah, especially in this format.
Yes.
Prashant Trivedi, we'll come to your question also, but let's see what else Shane has for us.
Right. So obviously this is Virat and Babar, and this, by the way, was Asia Cup 2018. Was there?
India won.
Yes, India won it, and it was in the ODI format.
Yes.
So this was where we started getting a glimpse of him, because again, 70 strike rate, normally nothing to laugh at. ODI is the respectable 31 average and a highest score of 66. This was when Babar was actually first, you could say, coming to prominence in international cricket, because before him, this the person who the batting revolved around was Fakhar Zaman. Then Babar came, and it was around this time that he started solidifying himself as the mainstay in that batting lineup. Again, they're not bad numbers considering, again, it's an ODI tournament that year. So not too bad overall. But again, that was a long time back. Same with Kohli. That 2016 was a long time back. It seems like generations ago, both in terms of the years and also the kind of form. 2016, Kohli was on another level.
It's been 6 years.
6 years?
6 years is a long time.
Exactly, and so much has changed for both these batsmen. Kohli has been on a slump, Babar has been on a meteoric rise.
True.
So there's a lot that's changed since then. But again, if we're looking at just numbers, again, for perspective, we always say Kohli's that major thing was 2019 last ton. So since 2020, his numbers don't look too bad, again, in T20 eyes. But there's a lot of context to be drawn here, is that every single year, calendar year if you go by, this strike rate of 136 is propped up by what he did in 19 and 20. Because in 2021, it dropped into the 120s, 2022 drops even lower. So his strike rate in recent years has absolutely dropped. Average, again, 42.18, not
has
bad,
also dropped.
but he was averaging above 50 at one point. So 42 is not bad.
But this is only for the period between 2020 to 2022.
Correct.
So this is the sample size that we've taken from last 3 years. And this year, this calendar year, Virat has played just 2 T20.
Oh, this season. Actually, this year he's played 4.
4.
Yeah. 2 of which came recently in England, where he
and the entire Pakistan team has played 1.
I think so, yes.
The entire Pakistan. Actually, since, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, I think ever since that T20 World Cup loss happened to India, I think India has played 28 internationals, 20 T20 internationals, and Pakistan has played just 6.
Yeah, and even from those, I mean, 3 of those happened right after the World Cup types, which was against the West Indies. The one really competitive one they had was a one-off against Australia at home. I think that was just before the IPL, because that was when Australia were touring Pakistan. Since then, recently, in fact, they've been playing more ODI cricket. In fact, the last series they had was an ODI series against the Netherlands, Pakistan. So they haven't played that much T20I cricket in that time period.
Yes. In fact, the one T20 international that they played this year,
Australia.
Was against Australia, and that too they lost
By 5 runs, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Pakistan, maybe they'll see it as an opportunity to just get themselves, get themselves into the groove before the T20 World Cup. Of course, there will be some high intensity games against India, Sri Lanka,
Potentially even Afghanistan,
even
Bangladesh.
Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Yes, you cannot consider them as just they're no pushovers.
And Bangladesh always tend to get fired up for matches against India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
So they might be playing badly, but those days are outliers. They'll just
And these are the games that give these teams, the likes of Bangladesh, Afghanistan, to punch above their weight.
Exactly.
They know that not a lot of people would expect them to win, but if they do win, that's a big achievement.
Exactly. So this is Virat Kohli's numbers. Babar, on the other hand, again. Oh wait, I think we missed out on one. Did we? No.
No.
I think we don't have it here, or do we have it here? No. Here we go. These are his numbers from 2019 to 22, the time when he's been slowly but surely ascending to breaking that Fab 4 and making it a Fab 5. 41 matches in T20Is. Look at the number of runs. That is
almost 1400.
Almost 1400 runs. Strike rate again in recent years has kind of dropped, but that's dropped also at around the time when their batting has become more reliant on the top order. Average 42.
No, I agree, but I think if Virat has been criticized in the past because of his strike rate, I think it's fair to say that Babar Azam's strike rate isn't too great.
Exactly.
And in fact, he has maintained this kind of strike rate ever since he came onto the scene. Because, see, Virat still, Virat had a great strike rate once. Great as in...
He would be in and around the 140s, late 140s, which is very good for a number 3-4.
3-4, and for somebody who's played so many games to keep that strike rate. And now... we've seen that in the IPL, in the other games. In fact, the last T20 match against Pakistan that we played, India played rather. So there also he played a lone hand. Of course, he got some good support from Rishabh Pant towards the end, but but there also, a lot of people said that if Virat got a 57, he could have gotten it at a better strike rate.
Correct.
Better strike rate. At that time, I think the demand was something else.
Let him get runs first. It wasn't even the strike rate at that point. So these are his international numbers, but we also did want to look at their domestic, numbers in recent times, so the recent season rather. Again, Babar, this strike rate is a problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. 118 in 10 matches. It's really not good enough. That being said, however, he's the highest run scorer in the history of the PSL.
Overall history.
So as far as overall goes, he sits on top of the charts. Again, though 343 runs in 10 matches, not bad at all. But the strike rate can use some work. And again, this is for Karachi Kings.
A lot of work.
And this is for Karachi Kings. We can't even say the Pakistan team's circumstance is different, but 118 for your franchise means you're kind of used to batting at that speed at this point. Although Kohli's runs don't really do that much justice for 2022. I mean, we also have struggles, but 341 runs in 16 matches compared to 10 of Babar's. And remember, they were back-to-back ducks.
Strike rate. Let's hope, because Virat has taken some rest, almost a month. Yeah.
In fact, he took some rest even after the IPL. Remember, he wasn't part of the South Africa.
Yeah. So, but hopefully he's coming back with a fresh mind, maybe with a clean slate, and just to start all over again once again. So hopefully, but now, if a lot of people, I know Virat, of course, is a crowd puller. Every time he comes out to bat, people expect him to do well. People expect a lot from Virat Kohli. But maybe, as initially I asked Shane a question, that whether Pakistan is more dependent on Babar Azam or India is more dependent on Virat Kohli now. So his answer was Pakistan is today more reliant or more dependent on Babar Azam. Maybe, if you are saying this, I think it can actually work well for Virat Kohli. He knows, although Virat is somebody who who likes to set standards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And today, if you are not expecting, if he is not your best batsman in the team, that means it can actually reduce a bit of pressure also.
Absolutely.
Because maybe you're expecting Rohit is there, Surya is there,
KL
Rahul is there,
Hardik is there, Pant is there, even someone like Jadeja to finish off.
Indian batting actually
is very, very strong.
Looks very strong, especially that middle order. The senior pros, of course, Rohit, KL and Virat Kohli. I can't say much about their form because KL has hardly he's
not played a match.
He's played just 2 innings. One he got one in 1 innings, the last match that he scored, I think 15 odd runs.
Yeah.
So these are the only 2 innings that he played after the IPL.
Correct.
So we don't know how he is going to fare in the Asia Cup. Virat, of course, he's coming after a decent break. Before that, he was struggling with the bat, with his form. So we don't know. Rohit Sharma,
same problem. He was getting starts and then just giving the wicket
away. I think
the
Indian batting and Pakistan batting is an exact contrast. Pakistan top 3, India on paper, if you see Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul,
you should be thinking, okay, that's like lottery every time. But
no, it looks pretty ominous.
But current form.
But form, we don't know. But the middle order,
and especially look at what is their problem. They don't have a proper number 4. Who's India's number 4? Surya.
One
of the best number 4s in this particular format.
Perhaps the best batsman at the moment in India.
Form. Yes.
In India.
And then you have someone like a Hardik who at this point seems to be able to do no wrong.
Yeah.
Pant has a little bit of confidence because, he did well in England.
Yes.
And Jadeja is Jadeja. So, but yeah, that's the thing. Right now there's a lot of contrast. India top heavy, again, we don't know if that top suddenly finds form. Then that's an ominous batting lineup.
And Shane, I think with the kind of middle order that India has, I think the top order should have that kind of liberty to explode right away. Rohit Sharma, in fact, at least we've seen that he's mentioned about a template. When he took over as captain, he mentioned about a template, that this will be our template where we are attacking right from the start. And at least Rohit Sharma has, it has reflected in his batting also. In Rohit Sharma, at least his batting, although he's lost his wicket.
Yeah, but he's been getting quick fire 20, 30. And to be fair, if you're looking to be aggressive from the get-go and you have a middle and lower order that can get you runs, then as you say, absolutely agreed, there should be no pressure on the top order to preserve their wicket, which used to be a problem right up till 2019. You knew that if Rohit, Shikhar and Kohli get your runs, you're guaranteed to win. 1 or 2 of them get out and suddenly you're struggling. Here, I don't think that's a problem because the middle order and lower order is rock solid. So, yeah, I think they should be looking to play with a lot more intent. Asia Cup and the T20I World Cup, both.
Right. Chalo, we'll take a few questions now. A lot of people have been asking a few things.
Yes.
Who currently, Babar or Sky? SS98 is saying who is the best T20 batsman currently? Babar, okay. I think maybe he's asking better batsman because best would also include a lot of other players. Joss Butler would also feature in that list. But Babar or Sky? Who's a better T20? Who would you want to have in your team?
Sky.
There you go.
Because he combines everything. Lots of runs, good strike rate. Babar, great player, no 2 ways about it. But a little one-dimensional. He'll give you plenty of runs, but that's it.
He's basically an accumulator.
Yes.
And with the kind of batsman Surya Kumar Yadav is, he'll keep the opposition bowlers guessing because you never know what shot will come out.
And you never know when he's going to switch gears.
Yes. So, okay, Raghav expects Virat Kohli to open with Rohit Sharma. Raghav, I
seriously doubt that. I
don't think that's going to happen.
I think that would have happened if KL hadn't regained fitness. If they needed a backup, then maybe it would have been worth a shot. Right now, no.
Okay, Prashant was up there. Okay, Prashant is saying, I wish Virat to have a commendable Asia Cup, but Babar is in form. Heart says Virat, but mind says Babar. We hope your heart
is actually right in this case. Yeah.
Yeah. Only 10.
Yeah.
Amrit Anshu is pretty unhappy, I guess. He's saying that Virat's 42 average with a strike rate of 136 is out of form, and Babar's 42 with a strike rate of 132 is peak.
See, but that's the difference, no? Babar is never the type of player who is explosive. Kohli, on the other hand, at his peak, was scoring you runs at 140, 150 also in certain matches, which is why that drop has come in now, which is why there's been that reduction in the strike rate. Gaming score says Deepak Hooda for the playing 11. He might get some matches.
I don't think you will see him
Not for
in the
Pakistan.
starting 11 against Pakistan. Then Mozammil, boom boom, is saying, will India go in with 3 spinners? I doubt. I
doubt.
think Yuzi Chahal and Jadeja will start,
Yeah.
most likely. And,
Playing with 3 spinners, even in these conditions, yeah.
But you have taken 4 spinners in that squad.
So I think they're planning with some matches they might play 3.
Yeah.
You never know, depending on conditions.
Yeah, because as far as your seamer is concerned, Hardik Pandya
Will be your third seamer.
will be
in
your third
essence.
seamer, and you can actually, but that may
Weaken the bowling. Yeah.
bowling and batting also.
If you're expecting him to be bowling 4 overs every match, yes.
Yeah, and batting as in not Hardik Pandya, because your tail, you might, if you play 3 spinners, that means you may have to compromise on one of the batsmen.
True.
So that could, if you're playing Ashwin, Yuzi and Jadeja. So both Chahal and Bishnoi should be kept in the playing rather.
That means you're dropping one seamer.
I doubt.
Rohit Roy has an interesting prediction. He's saying that Sky will be the top scorer in this particular tournament. Wouldn't put it past him. Would not put it past him. India will definitely go with Ashwin, says Pavan Patel. My gut feeling. No, could be possible because again, he's barely played since making his, can you call it a comeback? Yeah, he's not played that much. So I think they might just play him in some games for sure. But let's see. KD Rajput, again, no. I honestly don't see the point of playing KL in, as a number 3 when he is so good as an opener. Just makes no sense.
Okay. Is Virat Kohli the best T20 player ever? He has an average of 50 and a strike rate of 140.
And 2 player of the tournament.
2 player of the tournaments in the ICC World Cup 2014
Best
and
T20
16.
player
Akshat
ever.
Negi.
Best. No, I don't know. Best. I don't know. If you're going T20, if we're considering T20 eyes, then maybe. But for me, T20 eyes in this generation always be characterized by Chris Gayle. Nothing beats him. And especially if you consider his record everywhere that he's played. Loads of leagues, can't touch that, man.
Okay. Austin Kuna. I would love to have a dugout.
On the best under 25 11 of India. I have to agree with his next, the second half of it. Gill and Pant definitely most promising.
Alex is asking, any chances to draft Deepak Chahar in the T20 squad for the Asia Cup?
You could answer that.
No, there is every possibility. I think, he was injured, he wasn't playing, he was included in the team, he was included in the for the Zimbabwe tour. He got a couple of matches to play, and then he's also been included as a reserve for the Asia Cup.
Correct.
So now 11th September is the final for the Asia Cup.
Correct.
For the T20 World Cup squad, for the World Cup squad has to be announced by 15th of September. Okay, 1 month before the
tournament starts.
Tournament starts. So, will you or will you not include Deepak Chahar in that squad? You'll have to see him.
Which means he would have to play.
although he's not part of the squad, he's not there in the squad.
He's
in
there
the
as a backup.
He's there as a backup. But I have an inclination. I have a hunch.
Also, again, you have to remember 2 of your bowlers who seem set to go, Bumrah and what's his name? Harshal.
Harshal too is unlikely for the T20 World Cup.
So that opens up a slot suddenly.
So that's what I'm saying. If you have to include him, if you have to take a call on Deepak Chahar, I'm saying, you will have to see him. Or have you decided on the basis of 2 matches that he played against Zimbabwe that he is good enough to go there for the T20? I'm saying for you to take a call on Deepak Chahar, maybe you'll have to see him, and if you have to see him, maybe he will be included in that T20 Asia Cup squad.
Correct.
Maybe after a few games, somebody may have to get injured. I'm sorry to say that, but I think that may happen.
Or maybe someone gets announced injured before the tournament. Also a possibility.
So I think Deepak Chahar might just make it to that 15-member squad, because he's there, and you already have almost now you have 4 net bowlers there.
Correct.
In Dubai, Kuldeep Sen has also now joined the team, the squad as a net bowler. In the afternoon, there was this story doing the rounds
that he was being drafted in place of,
as a replacement. Kuldeep Sen has replaced Deepak Chahar in that Asia Cup squad, and that is completely baseless. Nothing of that sort has happened. Deepak Chahar is absolutely fit, and in fact, as we speak, he must be training there in that ground. So, Varun Parvatneni, even DK might not start, or will Rohit surprise us and rest Pant like he did before? Come on, Shay.
I think DK for the starting will not start, but if you ask me, and this is just a personal preference, I would actually include him in the lineup ahead of Pant.
So he has a specific role, and because see, Rishabh Pant is not going to bat at number 4.
Correct.
Rishabh Pant will
have to bat lower, at least 5-6.
Exactly, will have to bat at either at number 5 or after Hardik Pandya.
Correct. So 5 or 6.
So, but for DK has a specific role for which he was included in the Indian team. And he's done pretty okay.
I mean, look, it's harsh to judge someone as a finisher also, because that's one of the toughest roles out there. You're not going to have a success rate of 8 times out of 10 getting, quick fire 30-40. I think what he's shown there, he's shown enough promise that, we can still keep him around. And, you don't have to tweak your batting lineup at all if you have to draft him in.
Yes.
That's where he, in my opinion, won out over guys like, say, Samson or Ishan Kishan, all top order bats.
Yes. Achha, Mr. Flavor is saying Hasnain, who's Hasnain has been included as a replacement for Shaheen, Dhani, or Wasim, Mohammad Wasim Jr. I didn't get what exactly. I think you're asking that
which one of them will be playing.
I think Mohammad Wasim.
Wasim most likely, because again, Hasnain was just included. As a replacement, so I think he's not starting.
So Haris Rauf, of course, will be there. Then you will have Mohammad Wasim Jr. and then who's going to be their third fast bowler? Is Hassan Ali there? No,
Hassan Ali hasn't been considered for a long time.
He's not there. Okay. So how is the weather at this time in Dubai? You should not play a spoil sport, Prashant. In fact, yesterday we were discussing how important toss
in the last World Cup
could become. And by the way, it's going to be very, very, very hot there in Dubai, because usually, usually this time of the year, Dubai has not seen any international cricket for almost a decade. The last time an international series was played in UAE this time of the year was way back in 2012.
Wow.
So this is definitely not the preferred
weather for cricket over there.
Exactly.
Actually, it should be interesting to see how these matches play out then. Because again, you remember IPL, as one of our commenters pointed out, they're saying that UAE pitches can be slow, but they might not necessarily turn alert. So that can be very tricky to navigate. You might see a few low scoring, matches here.
What about Pakistan bowling? Mr. Flavor, we discussed about their bowling initially. Shadab Khan. They've got pretty. Iftikhar Ahmed, a good all-rounder. I think he may just get a place in the 11. Then Asif Ali may have to bat up the order at number 4. Although last World Cup he was batting
6-7 times.
Yeah, but maybe this time he gets a nod ahead of at least maybe at number 4. You will see Asif Ali. Naseem Shah. Oh yeah, Naseem Shah is there.
Naseem Shah. Yes.
Naseem Shah is also there. Yeah. So that's the story. Tomorrow we may have to pick India's 11 because we'll get you a lot of stuff from Dubai, where Nikhil is already there in Dubai. So he'll be reaching early morning there and will join us live. You can ask questions, he'll get you stories, updates and what happens. Because the Asia Cup, by the way, is starting on Saturday. That is day after the Asia Cup is starting. First match is between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So the next day
is the big match.
Is the big match that everybody is waiting for. India versus Pakistan. So you guys stay tuned and do subscribe to Sports Today, because you will not miss anything.
And don't forget, there's an action-packed time coming. Besides Asia Cup, we're building up to the T20 World Cup as well. There's bilaterals before that. Lots and lots of stuff going on. So don't forget to stay tuned to Sports Today. Stay subscribed. Thank you all so much for joining us today. As always, don't forget to like the video. Drop us a comment as well. If we couldn't take your question, we'll definitely read it over there. And thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well.